I am in a unique position in this federal election. I am the only person who can say that both of the men running to be Prime Minister once worked for me. I say that as the guy who actually did lead Canada through the global financial crisis. My choice, without hesitation, without equivocation, without a shadow of a doubt, is Pierre Poilevre.
Just moments before I walked on this stage, I met with a lovely young lady, Christina Trang. She's here with us today. Her father was a patriotic, law-abiding, decent man. And one day, he was out for a walk in Chinatown, and he was viciously attacked and killed by a rampant offender who was once again out on bail.
Canada right now needs change more desperately than it perhaps ever has. And it needs someone to lead that change, my friends. As someone who had the honor of serving as your Prime Minister, I know that being Prime Minister is a trust. It is a trust to take this incredible country that our ancestors bequeathed us and to leave it stronger, more united, more compassionate, and more confident than we found it. I am in a unique position in this federal election. I am the only person who can say that both of the men running to be Prime Minister once worked for me. And in that regard, my choice, without hesitation, without equivocation, without a shadow of a doubt, is Pierre Pierre. I say that as the guy who actually did lead Canada through the global financial crisis. I hear there's someone else claiming it was him. It was, of course, our government, the late, great Jim Flaherty.
And a little surreal, I have to confess. I remember when I met then economist Stephen Harper a quarter of a century ago, before he was even back in Parliament and running for leader. And then I remember serving with him for all those years as he took us through the tumultuous times of the war in Afghanistan, the great global recession. Always and everywhere, he was solid, competent, honest, decent, down to earth, a man who could, in the words of Kipling, walk with kings but never lose his common touch. He is the greatest mentor I could ever ask for. And to be back in my home province, here in Alberta. It's incredible. Let's bring it home, my friends. Look, this has got to be the biggest political gathering of the 21st century. Look at it. Canadian homes now cost 50% more than they do in the United States. And you can actually buy a castle in Sweden for a lower price than a house in Kitchener today. The Liberals are trying to pull a fast one. They have a very simple strategy in this election. And here's what it is. Make you forget about the last 10 years. Everything they do will be about bringing collective amnesia of all the damage they've done. The first trick they've tried is replacing Justin Trudeau with his economic advisor and a hand-picked successor, Mark Carney. Now, despite the artificially inflated resume and the more carefully combed hair, and the banker's suit, there is no change. It is the same Liberal ministers, same Liberal MPs, same Liberal strategists making the same Liberal promises they have been making for the last 10 years. We know the results. Mark Carney has spent the last 2 months taking for credit for things he did not do, but refusing to take responsibility for the things he actually did. He was Justin Trudeau's economic advisor for the last 5 years, during which time he supported not only keeping the carbon tax, but hiking the tax. He opposed the Northern Gateway Pipeline in testimony before a parliamentary committee. He opposed that pipeline while profiting off of foreign pipelines himself. You know, it is no wonder that Donald Trump says he wants Mark Carney and the Liberals to stay in power, because he knows that as long as the Liberals are there, Canada's economy will be weak and reliant on the Americans. But guess what? Donald Trump doesn't get to choose our next Prime Minister. Canadians do, and they're going to vote for a change. It's not just Donald Trump that says it would be easier to deal with the Liberals. Today, again, the Chinese government was out campaigning for the Liberals, supporting Mark Carney, just like they did during the leadership race of that party. And who would wonder why? Mr. Carney, while he was economic advisor to Justin Trudeau, actually went to China to get his company a $250 million loan. A loan that his company still owes, and a company in which he continues to be invested. We cannot trust Mark Carney to put our country first. He never has, he never will. We need an end to the long, Liberal lost decade. It is time for a change and a new day for Canada. And isn't it great to have Brett Kissel here, the great country music star who sang Our Home. Way to go, Brett. Thank you very much, my friend. You got a message for people?
Edmonton and Canada, it's very important to understand the human being that Pierre is. A guy who's become my friend, and somebody who truly believes in the future of Canada and understands that the past 10 years we've had have not been great. But Pierre is here with all of his colleagues and with all of his heart to make a significant change for a brighter future, something that each and every one of us truly want, not just for us, but for our kids and our grandkids, and Pierre is the guy to do it.
"28 days before the election, they decided to hide it from the gas pumps. Don't worry, if God forbid they are re-elected, the tax will be back by May 1st. Remember, the day they took it off at the pump was April 1st, April Fool's Day. But Canadians are not fools. They know that Mark Carney has openly said he wants a higher tax and that he wants it to apply on Canadian industry. That's another thing he and Trump have in common. They both want to tax our industry, Trump with tariffs and Carney with carbon taxes. Well, my friends, with me, there is no doubt. There has been no equivocation my entire career in public service. I will axe the tax for everyone, for everything, for real, for good, forever. But I want to acknowledge a great union leader fighting for the Boilermakers. We have Arnie Stadnik. Thank you for your support, Arnie. Thank you very much. Arnie, are we going to build some nuclear power plants in Canada?
Yes, all day, all week, all year, well into the future.
Right on. Give it up for the Boilermakers. Just moments before I walked on this stage, I met with a lovely young lady, Christina Trang. She's here with us today. Her father was a patriotic, law-abiding, decent man. And one day, he was out for a walk in Chinatown, and he was viciously attacked and killed by a rampant offender who was once again out on bail. That same day, that killer actually took a second life.